Oh, hello, James here. I just want to make a video, um, and I was thinking about this last night, and it's about the Supreme Court decision about Roe versus Wade. And you have a lot of people upset because about them overturning the abortion. And my opinion is that a lot of people don't see the future of this country. If you have what why some of these Republican lawmakers were signed a bill to ban abortion, because they estimated, and they have some experts and the expertise that in the next 20-30 years, they see the population dwindling. Number one. Number two, when the population dwindles, it's a tax-based issue. So future people that's coming into the future people that's coming into the planet through the wombs of the woman. When you need schools, daycares or schools. One day this person gonna be in daycare, next minute they're gonna go to school, and so on through the progression of their life. And at one point they're gonna come to be a teenager, then they're gonna be a young adult. And once they get a Social Security, they go into a tax system. Our taxes, meaning the country, every generation pays for the next 2 or 3 generations of taxes. And that's why that's number one. Number two, it creates children. Someone has to teach the children. So you have influence, you have counselors, you have teachers. So you can have young people, even they come in the world with problems, or at a young age, they're going to have to need counseling. So that creates a job. Number three is that why it's important, because as the planet progresses into the future, every human being has a certain cycle of life, and you have animals that was given to you for human extinct. They're gonna go extinct because they rely on humans. So what would that look like with a planet full of animals and the human extinction just going into existence? So those same animals, and I saw a video about this, will have to learn. Some of them will get depressed because all their human counterparts will die off and age, get sick, and die off. Every generation comes into the planet. Every person that comes to the planet in a different part of time and different part of generation, and as long as there's life and there's death, life must keep coming to the planet. And it's the reason why there's a purpose for that. See, with all this considering, these people out here that's protesting abortion want abortion, and they don't think about that. And also these women that in beta men don't understand that the baby carries, that baby in the womb, however it's coming to the world, carries a destiny. Sometimes we are born in this world since the beginning of time, and some of us wasn't raised in ivory towers and houses. However, it's nothing that I feel who I call as God created us. So no human, he can change a human's destiny around. The next young person, the next baby, could turn out to be the next person that can invent things that can solve some of the world's problems. We that can be the solutions, the scientists, the inventions, and you abort them. This is true. You're aborting the future. You're aborting the future scientists. the doctors, the problem solvers. Somebody could be a genius. Some have a natural gift that can solve and and can be whatever the world's problems is. It can be a blessing into the earth for the Most High God. Most people don't understand this. And if you look out throughout time, there were some people that had an awful beginning before they were born. There were some people that wasn't wanted. There's some people that could have died at birth. But the miracle is a miracle. Every individual has a certain story from every walks of life. Somebody was supposed to told that person to get rid of that person, and they refused to, because God has a destiny on that person's life. And even though that person came into a rough beginning, he healed them to the point that he mentally took the drama out of them. Let me just be clear. No matter what circumstances, a child can have poverty, a child can have some kind of physical, mental disability and be born with it. But whatever obstacle it is, that person has a right to have life to come into this world. And however it works out, shouldn't it be that they have a right to live? Yes, a woman does have a choice. However, what about the life that's in the womb? That future person has a voice also? And these women who are protesting don't see how blessing it is to have a child. There are women out there that feel depressed. There are women that are married. There are women that want children and never could have a children because something could be on the inside. If they have a baby, it would die. There's been cases with that. Or it's something that where the inner part of their womb, something was damaged and they can't have children. There's people in my family like that. And so cause you imagine, and then of course you have some women choose not to have children for various reasons, and probably it's a good reason because they don't have the patience to deal with the child, deal with the person, another person, raise another person. But for the women that do and that can't have children, what does that tell you? What does that tell? And my heart goes out to the women who can't have children, and it's something that was not their fault, because something goes on in the human body that it can possibly be reversed or it can be fixed. But sometimes some people are born genetically. It could be something where they're born that they can't have children, and these are the women that always wanted to have children. And they would give an arm and leg just to have someone that carry on their likeness, their personality. Just as the man do, a woman wanted to see her trait in her blood. Every race of woman, regardless of language, religion, and what part of the world they come from, every woman wants a child, their son or their daughter, to resemble something like them, because that's a part of them. And that's a part of the family tree. That's how we get to come into existence in this world. I would say to those pro-choicers, what if your grandma, your mother, would decide to abort you at the time of your conception? What if they would feel up under pressure and shame? What if you were stillborn? If life, the one who produced life, which is the Most High God, man does the 50% plant the seed, the woman ovulate and can contribute to her part. But it's the one that sends the seed, that forms the life in the womb, that blesses the womb of that woman, He's the one. He can determine if the baby should come or the pregnancy should be off. And there has been cases like that where people were pregnant and God didn't allow the whole cycle to go through. You know, when you take those tests, whatever, and determine you're pregnant, in 1 minute, and it could have been accurate. At some point, it could have been accurate, and sometimes it could be an accurate thing, and sometimes it could be flawed. But someone could have been accurate. Someone could have got to the point, but something happened where the baby didn't reach to the point of stillborn. I say this to you. And do you ever think about that? And I heard what this one guy was saying. His name is Zillionaire. He's right, and he was saying that basically you're a murderer. You ain't no different than a serial murderer. Want to murder because you want to justify a medical reason. Now, there have been people that have been raped, and rapists. They've been sexually assaulted. Let me take that word out. It's sexually assaulted. And unfortunately, something happens. And there have been men that have been sexually assaulted, women that have been sexually assaulted. Sexually assaulted is nothing, is traumatizing. However, where is the data where there's some people who've been sexually assaulted, out of a certain percentage of women have got pregnant? You know, and even though something even demonic like that would happen, the Most High God can heal that trauma. It may take time to heal the trauma, and He can stop the pregnancy. But man don't want to give it a chance. They say, no, I determined we should kill that life because it came in a whole. And no one is that incest is bad. But incest goes back to the Bible too. And throughout history, out time, and some places, some religion, some people that practice religion, they married their own second, third cousin. If you want to be technically honest with you, and I mean, even the most powerful people are related through the blood. This is fact. But you would probably consider kind of blood-related ancestral kind of thing. Incest. And incest it's foul, it's horrible. But even in something like that, when it comes to the life of the womb, the Most High God can terminate that pregnancy and not let that come through. We don't give the Most High God credit and determine. Even when the catastrophic event, something like that would happen, of sexual assault and incest, we don't, and let Him determine. The trauma of going through something like that takes time to heal up. But knowing that whatever that person did to violate you, to intercede, He can stop it. He can stop it at the time of conception. That's a fact. Number two thing, since the beginning of time, contraceptives was the thing. Wearing condoms, certain birth control pills was supposed to alleviate that. And in fact, just sustain for sex, till you're married. That's an option too. But we know sometimes it don't happen. But if you do end up in that situation and you find that you're weak in your flesh, maybe that would be the wise thing. To do. And so a person don't want a child, or that this person is not, and you not willing to have it. This person don't want a child. That could have been put off the board. And number two, you didn't have to sleep with the person. That's an option. So there you have it. But why would you want? But in the meantime, that life that's in that womb had a purpose and a destiny to come into this earth. And when you stand in agreement in alleviating the life that's in the woman's womb, you eliminate the destiny of what that person is paying in that person's life, and therefore you stepping in the Most High God's territory. In circumstances and situations happen. There have been women, and the same guy that reported this as facts. There have been women that died having abortions. There have been women that have cervical cancer, breast cancer, because of abortions. Because she opened up a door in the spiritual realm for her, so she could be cursed. And then there was a woman that reported that she was part of the abortion, and she was tormented in her mind because she heard screaming babies for the rest of her life. And she will. I remember a friend of mine told me the woman literally went nuts. She was tormented with hearing screaming babies, and paying a horrific scream of a baby. And these women that's protesting that, God forbid, if they don't repent of that, when you stand before the judgment of the Most High God, that may be your torment. When you have whatever your time is up on this earth, and whether you a beta male that's going along with this, when your time is up on this earth, and you stood in agreement with this, and you stood in agreement, it was not your call to end the life, because you're no different than the person that set out there and murdered someone outside the womb of the woman, which means what I mean outside the womb, it don't matter. Once a person is born into this earth and someone commit a murder outside the womb, and someone's son and daughter is murdered, that came outside the woman of the womb, and they were killed by a rapist or a murderer or a serial killer, you on the same level is that, because murder is murder, and in the eyes of the Most High God, no higher sin is greater than greater sin. If anything, God, I said, if anything, imagine this. Imagine, because some people, and for God bless for the people who are standing up for this, but the ones who don't know God, the ones that don't believe in God, this is my message to you, is that one day you're going to stand before it when you leave this earth. And just like men, and just like a man, or just like women. Imagine you go through your life, all your human life, and something misfortunately happened to you, and you on your deathbed. And once you leave your earthly body, what are you going to, I say, you stand in spirit, your soul, and you leave this earthly vessel. What are your soul going to stand before the one that put you in your mother's womb, that brought you into existence? What are you going to say to the one that when you see his glory, his splendor? What are you going to see one when you go into that dimension of heaven, and you had to stand before the throne, and he heard you down here in your time on the earth? What are you going to say to the one? Are you going to cry about women's rights then? About rights? When he the one that authorized the right? He's the one that has the key between death and hell, and keys of life and death. Are you going to stand for the one? What you going to say to him? You going to look at the one that we celebrate, that you celebrate on July, some people, December 25th, and around about the time of his birth, which we try around April, I believe it was April, with the time of what they call Easter, which religiously you see the one that was put on the cross. What you gonna say to the one? What you gonna say to him in front of him and his angels? And he's gonna show you all the angels that were signed to that life in that womb. And it's not gonna be pleasant. It's not gonna treat you with an open arms when you was there and you anticipate in murder. And you might say, well, I don't believe in him. It don't matter. You might not even believe in death, but death everybody gonna die, and someone is gonna leave this earthly shell and stand before the throne. So you pro-choice, make your choice, but know that there's the consequences with your choice. And if you don't repent and rethink about what you're thinking, and someone who is a pro-choice, think about that. No person, and even in the Bible, didn't have a perfect beginning and birth. Even the one that was sent, the sign, even when we learn on the holidays, even the one we call Moses, even he didn't have a perfect beginning. Someone was trying to take him out, took his people out. And then when the time of Christ, they try to take someone to say, let's find a Hebrew boy to take him out. He'll kill all the babies. Oh yeah, this is in the Bible. But you see, the ones who are assigned to try to take out the Moses, from Moses all the way to Christ, and all those men and women between, they paid the price. They paid the price. They paid. And those who sacrificed innocent blood, they paid the price. Because something along the way, while they was living in the earth, aging throughout their life, aging in their body, they paid the price. And when they stepped into eternity, when they left and suffered, they lived out their human life, they paid the price. And you might see them if you stand in glory, and there's a place called paradise, called heaven. And you might can't get to go because you never repented and renounced it and repented. So you have to go to an opposite place, where all the other ones choose to murder and never repented. And even though somebody might have prayed for it, but they had so much evil intent that they had to go to a place that's torment and suffering. And what if you be put into a place where it's torment and suffering, where you have this for eternity, to hear screaming babies for the rest of your eternity? What is something down there, and you land out and see what they say about, we feel things in the flesh. We feel pain in this flesh. We feel sickness in this flesh. But imagine the soul. They said the soul can feel something greater than 10 times behind the flesh. So you have a soul. And you feel it behind. And it's worst thing to do. There have been documents and evidence that there's people that went to the pit of hell. And they said that it was so real that they can smell. And it's been incident after incident after people after people after people describing it. Now all these people can't be making something up or having some kind of delusionary or hypnosis or on some kind of drug medication that brought them. There's a place that's of torment. And all the Margaret Sanger supporters is going there if they do not repent. Because see, you have a certain amount of time on earth. We all have a certain amount of time on earth. And you better pray that someone's praying for you, that will change your perspective. Because if you don't, and you stand in with the same condescending, arrogance, attitude, that I don't care about that. I don't care about that life. You take on the mind of the one that rebelled against heaven and everything that rebelled against heaven. And you would be down with the one that rebelled against heaven. everybody know which one rebelled against the heaven. You're gonna be down there, and he don't even like you either. He can't stand your existence, but you doing his purpose, cause you rebellion, and just like you self pride and you self ego. You have this lasciviousness in your heart over a baby, an innocent life that had no voice for themselves. Like I said, since the beginning of time, everybody's birth wasn't pleasant and lovely in paradise. Some birth was horrible, some birth was painful, but God allowed it to come into the earth. The Most High God allowed it to come into the earth, even when it came from a different people that wasn't even worshiping under a different he allowed it to come because it was not his will for even someone in a different perspective of belief that he can change because he has an ultimate love for life. That's why he showed. And some people don't want to hear Bible or something like that, but this is a fact. That's why it was Sarah and Hagar. Hagar was the woman that was basically like a bondwoman to Sarah. And even Sarah told Abraham to put that woman out. And she walked the desert. And when she was out there, when she walked out there in the desert, she didn't know how she was going to feed in with her new infant baby. But when the cry went up to heaven, and even though God had favor on Abraham and Sarah, he had mercy on Hagar and told her to return to Abraham because he heard the cry of the baby. And it touched God's eternal heart to hear a baby cry. The creator of heaven and earth that brought you through your generations of your family. He brought you into this life and the children that come in the generations behind you. It was him that did it. It was you didn't come on your own. And whether some of you are atheists and don't want to believe it, it's a fact. Some people that was supposed to be here, could not make it because they died in the womb. Some babies are even die, and then when the person's born, there are babies being killed and slaughtered. But the one who went on the cross, the one who was raised up, is hurt because he has to send his angels into the planet and bring back, and he's heartbroken because he has a destiny for every human being for them to serve out their purpose. And you and the Margaret Sangers and all these in ugly demonic women with this demonic mentality want to protest my body, my choice. But you don't think about the life that don't see the blessing that come through the womb when it's hundreds of women can't even have kids. And I hope this video, someone get to this video and share, because it's a fact. There are women that can't have children because medically, genetically, they can't have it for some reason. I don't care if someone don't like me. I don't care if it gets the popularity. But someone got to speak on this. And the reason why you have the self-centered. In the United States, women are completely blessed. There are some women around the world that I have seen over time on TV and the internet. And you can ask them themselves. There are women that don't even have the right. There are women and girls can't even have to stay submissive. They have to be in bondage. They can't even get up and learn to go to school. They can't join sports. They can't do the things that men do in different parts of the world. Right now, they're in different perspectives of different, different countries and different languages. This is how entitled that we done got. And you don't see the blessing as a there are women don't even see the blessing that is to have that they have. You could be a mother and run your own business. You could be, and who's gonna stop that? You can be a woman and love another woman. Who's gonna stop it? You're in one of the most blessed countries on the planet. You could be a woman that want to change yourself into a man. You be on the one blessed on what's planet. What are you complaining about? These are the most entitled women in this country than every other country. And I bet you, if someone go to another country where the women don't have the right, they wouldn't even believe it. They'd be like, "Are you serious?" Yeah, women can vote, women can drive, women have multi-million. They can be on sports, they can have trades, they can be profession doctors and everything, and they still complaining. I bet you there's women on the other side of the world would love for the to have a third of a right that women have here. And you gonna say it's my body, it's my choice, but you don't see the vision of that precious light that's coming through that belly. You don't see. You understand. Get this. No person, even and this is even in the Bible, that people go to church every Sunday, and it's probably in the Quran, and I'm pretty sure it might be you. Somebody had a horrible beginning, even throughout history books. They had a horrible history, but they came. Their birth wasn't easy, and their parents didn't come from two-parent household. They lived at a time where, and like I said, from Moses to Christ, there was a time. When there was an order to the Hebrew boys to get killed, sacrificed, and so we can and pray that whatever our spiritual God would bless us. Sacrifice your children, throw them into the fire. That's what the system Molech came in. Sacrifice the blood, drown, and they would beat so they drown out the screams and sound. They murdered their life. And then when they did this, the curse came upon them. The curse came upon the generations after generations to the descendants to this day. Because of the sacrifice of blood of children, of babies. Look where we at. How does that play into today? Look at the weather systems around us. You think that it's coincidence? The fires, national season, it's climate change. Understand that. Do you see that the pandemic is on the rise? And he has allowed life that's outside the womb to die. Some people are dying. And it's because one of the reasons is America and other places because the sacrifice of innocent blood. Fact. So life, and it's going to be my time. And even though some people are responsible for taking a life, it's about a matter of time. It's going to catch up to them. It's going to catch up to somebody that they know. It's going to catch up the responsible one. The Hillary Clintons of the world, the Elizabeth Warrens of the world. Your time is coming. You stand in agreement with this, and all that stand over in that certain party. Your time is coming. Your time is coming. I don't wish nothing bad on you, but you see, when you stood up, when you stood up there, and there's people that are protesting this, you stand up against the kingdom of this world. And see, and then you're not even going to realize until, boom, when you leave this earthly body, there's going to be two kingdoms. Now you go to the paradise kingdom, and you go to the kingdom of torment. Make your decision. And you're gonna be, while we see, knowing that you're going, as we in the life of the living, in this fleshly, see you go buried in the ground, we ain't gonna be there to see where your soul is going. And the only people that will have the connection and know where you're going, that has a connection with the Most High God, where this person went to, and if he chooses to reveal it, well, they're not up here with me, because they never repented. They never renounce it, and they never repent. Margaret Sanger didn't repent. She had a plan and she had a purpose, and there's a history about it. But her purpose was to take out to play God. Let's see. You think she's in paradise after what she did, and responsible for a race of people? Started with certain races of people, didn't filter down to the system because of choice. Do you think that? Do you think that she's in paradise and women like her who never repented and had the gall and had the arrogance to do it because they thought they were superior? Just like the Jezebels of the world and Delilahs. And even though they can be pretty as a Delilah and as wicked as a Jezebel, but there's a place in hell for them. And yet, there's a place called hell. And his people are constantly telling their story about God has took them up in the spirit and showed them this is what's coming. When they leave this earthly shell, the body, when they leave this shell, once they in my eternity, that's it. You can't come back to the flesh. The morgue, the doctors and morgue and everything about to put you in the ground. Once you over that turnaround, and you didn't renounce and you didn't repent like any other people in their sins that caused them to fall short, this is a reality. This ain't a mess. This ain't no feel good message. This is a reality message. Cause some of you that stand in agreement with that choice, don't matter what you have a certain time on this earth. You have a certain time, but remember this: when you leave, you're gonna leave this earth at some point. We all gonna leave this earth, and you're gonna have to make a choice, and you're gonna have to make a destiny on where you're going. And some of the women that no matter what they did, what they accomplished, imagine that don't mean nothing when they leave this world. And because see, the ultimate goal once you leave this shell of the body is to make it to eternity. And he said your book is a book of life, and you can live glorious in forever. That's the ultimate goal. Because you see how the way life is right now, there are people checking up out of here that you didn't even think that was leaving. It used to be time you see somebody in the 90s, 100s, and 80s, the 70s, 80s. You say, okay, well they're up in age. You've seen people in their 30s, their 40s, their 50s, their 20s, and even down to the teens. Even the children are even leaving. So death ain't have no perspective. And it could be by natural disasters. So right now it's the natural disasters and plagues. Of course, we have some wars on the planet. Life ain't guaranteed. Don't get it twisted. And I'm glad I'm covered with the blood of Yeshua, Jesus. But even who knows? Because we don't know what our time up. But if I suggest this to you pro-choicers, the ones that you get this stubborn mentality, if I was you, I would repent. I would get on my knees and pray and ask for it. Because when you stand up against that, you stand up against the kingdom. You stand up against the Father, you stand up against the Son, the one we celebrate on the cross, and all his angels, that is, and everything in the court of heaven, everything in the court, that are responsible for every individual life that comes through the womb and have a destiny in the earth. You gonna be hold accountable for it before the end. Trust me. You don't believe me? You don't have to believe it's God. But there's death and there's taxes, right? There's someone gonna lead this planet, right? And once you lead it again, you lead this. There's a place you're going. See, it's not time for no feel good, and it's too bad no pastor, no father, no reverend didn't tell you this. Somebody should have told you. Somebody should have warned you. But I'd be one of the ones that warn you. See, this is a tough message that nobody want to address. Your eternal soul can count on everything, and even your family. And the ones that protesting, they don't even know. They can open up the door on their own family for calamity, and they don't even know it. Yes, tragedy happens, and you're not familiar. And anybody that know anything about the spirit world, and anybody that know strange things that happen. First, that goes past our five senses of logic and sense. Some things happen, and you do get spiritually attacked. And sometimes there is a kingdom that's trying to kill, steal, and destroy. A visible kingdom that's trying to take the human beings out on this planet. And we all are at the mercy of the Most High God. That's a fact. You have death and destruction is in the land right now. You have demonic spirits that cause accidents, that's caused murders right now. You see people flipping out, losing their mind right now. And they take their life right now. That's fact. Well, I don't believe in no spirits. You don't have to believe in it. You see murder, don't you? You see fires, don't you? People dying in fires. You see people dying in accidents. You don't have to believe it. I don't believe it. I'm an atheist. Yeah, but you can't deny that someone died. Someone died of something. Someone died of COVID. Someone died of cancer. Someone died. Someone didn't. Someone had an aneurysm and didn't wake up the next day. This is happening right now as we speak. So you pro-choicers, you think about that. You think about it. You think about that. And see, both kingdoms are watching. Both kingdoms are watching. Satan, and you work right now, he's laughing at you. He said, yeah, I want you to destroy that life. To stop the purpose. But to see this the Most High God. He say no. Because he knows some of you don't know the whole picture. But the ones and they think that they know, and someone who really, even if the truth is presented from someone who believes in life, and you still oppose it, one day you can never stand before the Most High God and tell him, I didn't know. I didn't. You remember that person? I said, oh yeah, that Christian. Oh yeah. Ooh, that Christian. And he gonna have it recorded in time in life. There are going to be people that are going to be sent to you from all walks of life. Could be from a different country, part of the world. You pro-choicers. So he got a message. What's this person talking about? I'm not into that spiritual stuff. You don't have to be. It's coming. It's coming. It's right next to you. You don't even know it. It's right next to us and we don't even know it. I thought about this last night. And I said, you had to argue and you don't even know that we're going into an existence. People don't even see this coming. Do you know there's towns in America are practically a ghost town? because it plays in arenas of they lost the taxes cause people to move, the progression, in fact the whole economy is affected. The whole economy is being affected. Homelessness is being affected. Plagues are coming. It's here. To you atheists, it's here. It's here. There are people homelessness is here. There are people in death in the hospitals here. There are people in COVID is here. The plagues is here. Look at California. It's the extreme weather, the cold, the winters out there. The homeless people are dying in whether it's really cold to really hot. It's here. The drug epidemic is here. Well, that's just a well. Don't you see? People are dying. Overdosing. It's here. The curses on America. The fires. It's here. There's sick individuals at high levels. Or we're trying to get the population up under because they're under a satanic system. It's here. They're trying to hide it. But they so bold with it as the guys let the devil tell on itself and let it reveal their kingdom. And it's right there in front of your face. And you don't even see it. It's here. Fact. You're going to be held accountable. And those of you stand in agreement, you're held accountable. Ask Sodom and Gomorrah, who stood in agreement. Ask the Babylon that stood in agreement. Ask the Ab who stood in agreement. Ask the ancient Roman time that stood in agreement. And somebody was trying to send it to give them the good news. And they were warned. Hey, we need to listen to like, oh, stop with that spiritual stuff. No, we're gonna stick with what we know, what we worship. And when the plagues came on the planet, well, they thought they were safe because they was around his people. But just like Egypt, it didn't affect the people who was the believers. They were spared. It's the ones who stood in arrogance is the one that paid to suffer. It was the pharaohs that cried when they ordered the birth and destruction of the Hebrew babies. And their babies was gone. Their firstborn was gone. He killed their legacy. And he gave them a warning. Stop this. Let my people go, and I will spare. But Egypt didn't want to come down, and they didn't want to let go. And you know what the story is about. You know about the plagues. You read this in your history, in your Bible. This was not no fairy tale. This is fact. Fact number one. You can see polluted water to this day. There's places in the world that water literally turning like blood. Number two, you have seen plagues. It's been recorded that there's been plagues of cicadas, but at the time it's like a plague of locusts, and there was a plague of lice. Number three, there was famine in the land. Famine. You see in some parts of the world, it still has famine in the land. So you tell me that you're a non-believer and you see a famine in the land and people in this different parts of the world that are starving to the point that even their bellies, the children's belly, they're starving as they're eating dirt down there in Haiti. You tell me, famine in the land, and people are trying to run to get to some place so they can because they want to survive because they don't have drinking water and they don't have drinking food. Eating food that's not proper for their body. Tell me, you skeptics, you atheists, you ones that don't want to believe. Tell me, because it's here. We've been living it and we've seen it. Because if you look around the world, and if you got a computer, go into some part of the world right now. There's some people are starving to death. Even just like you see, like, oh my God, You think it's just the Ukrainians is going through something? There's other people in other parts of the world that's starving to death. Famine is in the land, on the earth. In case you don't believe. In case you don't believe. Weather disasters, droughts. Farm sucked up the sun's drought, water. The ocean is practically, the water reserves is drying up. Animals are dying by the thousand. But you don't believe it. It did in that time, but you don't want to believe. Oh no, I don't believe that. But yet you could go to the North Pole or certain parts of the world and our animals are dying. The rainforest, I said they liberate the rainforest and the life is being killed off in the rainforest. In this present time, in this time. You don't believe this? You don't believe it. They didn't believe it back then either in the Bible, to be honest with you. They didn't believe it till we read about it 2,000 or 3,000 years later. We read, that's what we have. And there are scientists that are still digging stuff up in different parts of the world and find out that there was an actual civilization in the Mediterranean and east to Africa and elsewhere in ancient Europe. Ancient civilization. At the time of the Bible, there was a Paul that walked through there and tried to tell them and warn these people, but they didn't want to give it up because they want to worship and they want to do what they want to, and they was big and puffy and huffy and buff. And when the plagues, when the volcanoes exploded in different parts of the earth that rained down ashes, and then I said when the plagues come, when the sun burn up scorch the earth, and the water supply, then in half, let's say, civilization in some parts of the world was spared. This is what I'm saying is this was part of the judgment. We incurred judgment. The United States is under judgment. That's why these strange weather patterns that you've seen, we're under judgment. We're under judgment. Why you think that there's plagues are still hitting people? Why you think that the hospitals are still filling up with COVID patients? Why do you think that? Come on, you intelligent people out there, tell me. Why is that it has not gone away? Why is it? Why has not? Who's doing this? And you under delusion, and they tell you, but you all of a sudden there's more people getting sick. You still have to wear the mask on your face. You are under a pandemic. We, like many places in the earth, are under judgment. And this could be one of the reasons, and I do believe this is one of the reasons why, because someone wants to push this agenda, abortion, innocent blood, just like they did back in those times, innocent blood. Why? So if we can pound they did it because if we can do this, we will prosper. If we be killed, we will prosper spiritually. Those gods will prosper us if we sacrifice our babies. We sacrifice. This is true. But and when they done this to the Woods of Stone, they had a certain way to go out there and they pay homage and they would bow down to the images and everything. But you see what happened, don't you? When the scientists had to go in different parts of the world and find out that they had to dig through ash and dirt, things that buried up under the sea. But the Most High God left it as a reminder that He judged them. He judged Atlantis. He judged it. These ancient civilizations, He judged them. There was one that judged it. We find bones and stuff of crazy looking creatures telling you the time of Noah. He judged it. So we are that last generation, and so what we've seen is we've seen the latter end, and it's too bad no pastor is not telling you this. No man of God is not. They want to skip around it. They don't want to talk about. We in what we call the book of Revelations. Now, whether you go to church or whether you do, but we are, because in that book, and those who read the book know this, that we in the book of Revelation. Even people don't even go to church know this. And someone explained it to them like, wow, and someone help you show you this. We are in the last days. So, if I was you, I would choose wisely. Which you gonna stand on? What part of history? Are you gonna stand with the one that created, or are you gonna stand with or you gonna rebel against him? I'm gonna do what I want to do. I don't want to have to worship that one you called that coming to the earth. Are you gonna be one of those ones? He gives you a choice. But be prepared when your time is up on this earth. And he gonna say, I gave you time. I gave you the choice. I gave you time. I didn't force you to do something. You choose to come to me. I want you to come to me. But you choose to come against me. This is the one that is the one that we call Jesus, in the Christian, in Yeshua, the one who paid the price. So men to come and to know his name. He's gonna tell you this. I give you the choice. Then I sent my people to you, and you spit in their face. And some people from every walks of life, look on YouTube and type in the experiences from every language, every part of the earth. They have visited a place called torment in the spirit. They didn't, and this is not chance or coincidence. Someone even have access to a computer. Because somebody said, well, maybe they saw it. Maybe they saw somebody do it. No. My dear, my friend, it's called confirmation. You want to stand with what they call the one they want to label as the God of this world, the one that causing all this havoc and destruction, that hate humanity. Because it's definitely not Christ. It's definitely not Christ. It's the other one that rebelled against against Christ and his kingdom in heaven. You stand with him, and he hates you, and you're rebelling. This is the funny part. You think that he wants you to think that you don't existence. This is how Satan is. He wants you to think that you don't in existence, but he can't stand you because you're in the image of the one that told him that this human life that I adore, I love. I want you to watch over them. You're gonna go to the one that's it. And see, here's the crazy part about one. Even the ones that said, well, we want to turn against the God of the heaven and earth. We're going to choose to ride, and these ones to choose to ride out with him, and say Satan was not given the opportunity. Even though we all know that he caused the greatest rebellion in the earth. Even though that he's the one that's responsible for lying and the killing that will brought sin into the earth. Even though we know that it's the one, you have people that's going to agree with the devil, Satan, the evil, with the demonic powers, even to this day, that stand in operation with them. And they say we didn't torment this person who loved this one that he loved Jesus Christ. We didn't torment him and everything. He said, "No, thank you for your luck. Now you come down here with me." Okay, now what's my bargain? Say there ain't no bargain. What you mean? I didn't cause rebellion. I didn't cast spells on this person. I did everything on this person. That's nice. But didn't the Bible tell you I'm the father of lies. I'm the deceiver. You're a piece of shit, weak of a human being. I don't care about you. That's a fact. Fact. And if the Most High send you there, you go into a place where the worms don't die. You go into a place down there where it's smoldering in sulfur. You go into a place where it's hot. You go into a place that you die 1,000 times for eternity, feeling the death of burning flesh and smelling flesh, horrible sounds. You go into a place because you choose the end of life in the womb. You go into a place that used to chanting nice, and he's gonna say, daughter, son, I sent my messengers to you to renounce that. I'm not the, I'm responsible. I could have took care of that trauma when you got raped. I'm the one that healed. I'm the resurrection. I heal all things from the top of the head to the soles of the feet. That's why the symbolism of him that went on the cross. The crown was the head, the soles of his feet. The wounds, stab wounds in his body poured out of the church. This is what he's going to say to you. He giving you a choice. I hope someone shared this message with somebody. I know it's long, but it has to be said. It got to be said. Because it could be your last day on earth, whoever hears this video. You're a pro-choicer. It could be your last day. And if I was you, I renounce and I will repent. I will renounce and repent. This is a warning. I'm not a prophet. I'm no prophet. I'm no preacher. I minister in my own little way. But I know one thing. I know that Bible, that book is true. I've had experiences with it that's similar to the people that's in the Bible, some of the things that they went through. I know it's true. I know his word is alive. And there's people out there that can confirm this from every walks of life. So, you choose. Choose this day. Life or death. Obedience, rebellion. Choose. Choose. Use your choice. I'm not here to tell you, but this is the consequences. There's the consequences. You know, if you don't eat right or you don't exercise, you know there's the consequences to your body. You know if you smoke and drink all your life, you know there's the consequences to your body. You know you can feel it in your body. You know that it came from something. Your consequences. When you did something wrong as a child, your parents, there was the consequences. You had a choice. You had a choice. This is the message. You got a choice, the word. You got a choice. You want to rebel against heaven before abortion? That's your choice. But let it be known, heaven is against you. God and his angels are against you. If you for abortion. You don't believe me? Get on your knees and pray. Let him show you the vision, what his kingdom look like. And you telling them you aborting babies. Let him show you what his kingdom look like. Let him show you. Tell that to the Christ. That the depth that Satan attempted to throw itself down from off the mountain. Tell it to the one that we celebrate on December the 8th. Tell that to the ones who are Christians. That understand it, that we celebrate the holiday. Tell that to the one. Tell it to the one. It's your choice. But when you remember, whoever watched this video, remember that there was a guy like myself that warned you, that warned you, and he had his witness there saying, and I wasn't told about this, and God said I had, and he gonna have it. He might have it. He might be there, or an angel that have it recorded. Yes, he did. You was told, and not only you was told, I have sent people to you, but you told them, no, I don't believe in that religious stuff. That's spiritual stuff. Well, I'm not. I'm not this. It's not about religion. It's about relationship. I was trying to bring you not into a religion. I'm bringing you to a relationship. That person was sent you to bring into a relationship with me. It was not there. It was not there to bring you to a religion. This is what people don't get that messed up. Yeshua, better known as Jesus, is a relationship. It's not religion. I'll be a believer. I want to sup with you. I want to save you from what's about to come into the earth. That's happening in the earth, and I can heal you. I'm the only one that can bring you out in your situation, whatever it is. Whether it's something going on in your mind, something going on in your body, something going on in your finances. He's the only one that can think of a solution. His way, his term to bring you out. When we can't even think about how in the world is this going to happen in our own rational mind. He's going to determine that. He wants relationship with you. That's the point. But you go against if you for abortion and you don't, and you harden your heart up against him, you harden up heart against your destiny. You harden up against your life. And those ones, if they have people around them, they're affecting the people. Not only you affecting them, then you're affecting the people in your household. Your destiny. It could be younger children, those protesters. See, they don't think about that. Because I know some of the protesters have to have children, right? The ones who are pro-choice, right? They could be affecting their destiny. Affecting themselves and their children's destiny and the people around them who stood in agreement, that stand on the squares across America. They affecting their destiny. I'm not a prophet. You don't believe me? God will show you over time. He will show you in some form or fashion. He will bring whatever I say in some form or fashion. It may sound bizarre and crazy and rant and rave, whatever, but you'll see. Live long enough. The old people say live long enough. Oh, you'll see some stuff. Oh, you'll see. You haven't lived. When you get to a certain point in life, you haven't lived. Oh, you'll see. But my name is James, and I pray that someone will share this message. And for you, those that keep praying, just keep praying that they make the right decision. And at the court system, at the law system of law, and we do it right. And don't worry, those who believe he's coming, we're going to be all right. Because we stand on the right side of life. We the one that got the life. And when you have life, the ones that got rebellion don't have life. The ones that buck against the system, they don't have life. The ones that keep murdering innocent life, they don't have life. But we pray for them though. That's the message. So my name is James. Till next time, you guys take care. You be blessed, and hope someone out there, I know it's kind of long, but hopefully someone will hear this video and think about what I'm saying. It ain't what you want to hear. You ain't gonna like what you hear, but it's about your soul, the reality of your soul. That's to come down to every one of us, with every walks of life. That's what it comes down. That's the reality, the real facts and reality. No make believe, because reality is here. We live in it. We're witnessing, and we're seeing people leave this world every day, and we can't figure out why. And some wasn't supposed to leave this early. Okay, So you guys take care and play safe and stay encouraged because it's coming. You'll see. Bye now. Be blessed.